Hey, what's going on, guys? It's your boy Thomp, and I am making a gear update guide for my Hammerdin, kind of just to show off the progress I've made since D2R's come out, and also because I'm kind of at a loss as to what to do for this character next, so I figured maybe making this video and putting it out there, maybe someone might have some suggestions as to what I could do next. I'm currently running a 125 FCR build. I've considered switching and going to an HOZ and trying to get a core in it, but I'll go over all of my gear and I'll show you guys everything that I've got going on. So first off, I am level 93, very close to level 94. I'll probably have that in the next probably day or so. Pretty close to that level. Mainly for magic finding. In solo games, I've been running either a mix of Trav and Meth, sometimes throwing in Andy. Occasionally I'll run solo pits, but I find solo pits isn't that great since mostly what I'm looking for there is high runes. So I've been joining like bail groups and taking an MF spot instead of going and helping with the kill, so that I have the game open to myself with a guaranteed player 7 bonus to the white mobs that are in there. So that's kind of what I've been doing to make most of my gear, or to get most of my gear and make most of my money in here. But we'll go over some gear real quick. So 30 Hodo, and I know you probably look at that and go, well, upgrade your Hodo, but the fact of the matter is I rolled this Hodo on like day 2 or 3, and it rolled 30 and I just stuck with it, and when I built the rest of my gear out around it, 30 was enough. I have max res, so I haven't really needed to upgrade it. You'll see in a minute here, I could upgrade it to free up a slot, but it's a very minimal upgrade, so it's kind of bottom of my list for things to do. So I've got a 30 Hodo, P Topaz Shaco, again, only 100 defense, and Shaco's pretty cheap now, so I could for sure get a better one, but it's just a matter of, I actually found a better Shaco that obviously didn't have the socket in it yet because I found it, and I noticed that it didn't really, upgrading that one slot didn't really affect my defense enough to make any noticeable change. Like my chance to be hit didn't really go down at all, and my block percent didn't, well, it can't go up because it's already maxed, but even looking at calculators and things like that, it didn't make a difference where I'd save a dexterity point or anything like that. So I've just kind of stuck with the 100 defense Shaco, and again, Unrune, unnecessary. Ist is just kind of a flex that I've considered, to be honest, but I haven't bothered with. 27 Maras, pretty self-explanatory. 27's pretty good, 30's max, so 27's on the upper tier. I have this Dusk Shroud Enigma, which I can wear with 0 strength added, which is nice, so with that extra defense there. I went up from, I started with a Mage Plate with a 14% enhanced defense base, is the best I get my hands on at the time, and I actually even swapped it for this Dust Shroud with a 12% enhanced defense base. So enhanced defense could be a little bit better, making our total defense a little higher, but again, not my concern. I'm not trying to min-max defense points. I could do that, but I feel like there are definitely some spots within my build that could be improved to make the character better. I'm just trying to figure out exactly what to do. 44 Travs, again, pretty solid Travs. I could go up and get the 50, but that 6 magic find I don't think is going to help too much. Maybe at some point I'll go for the perfect Travs, but the price of everything that's perfect versus something that's really close is, you know, drastically different. So I haven't bothered, again, getting perfect Travs. Then I was lucky enough to find this Sacred Targe base. So it's a 45 all res Sacred Targe, perfect spirit base for Hammerdin. You get that max chance to block from a base, and the 45 all res is also perfect. Used the socket quest on it, got my 4 sockets, rolled 35 FCR. My magic absorb is pretty low on this one. I could continue rolling it. I just don't have a bunch of sets of spirit rolls. I do have in my box here just a ton of hell runes that I've been saving. This is kind of like my crafting page. So I've got all these hell runes, so if I took time to find, save, and stash away Talthal Ordam, I could try to re-roll that for something better, but again, that 35 FCR is what makes this build tick. And I guess I also do have this Sacred Rondash in a 44 base, so 2% less chance to block, -1 all res. Could be a solid placeholder while I re-roll the Sacred Targe and look for the 35 with maybe like a 6 or an 8 magic absorb would be nice. Anything higher than 4, honestly. So that's maybe an area I could look to improve in. 3 life leech, BK. Again, I don't care about the 5 life leech. I'm just wearing the BK for the 1 skill and the life. Pretty nice. A 124 Iraq. Pretty mid-roll. Pretty self-explanatory. 97% enhanced defense. Could be improved, but again, like I said, not exactly trying to min-max that defense. I'm wearing Mage Fist just because it, for like the nostalgia factor, let's be honest. I know that Trank gloves with their cold res are better. I didn't need any additional cold res to get to max res, and I haven't really been dueling with this character because maybe one thing I could do is get some dueling gear so that I'm a little better suited for that. But Mage Fist for the nostalgia factor, always a plus. And then kind of the piece that makes this build tick is this rare ring that I got. So 10 FCR, 17 AR doesn't really help us at all, but 19 strength, 25 life, 3 all res, but a bonus 10 fire res, which was huge because anyone who's rolled Hammerdin has known by now that fire res is the one that you're kind of lacking on because of your spirit. It's the one that doesn't get bonus res from spirit, so you need to find a way to make up that fire res, and this ring has been great for that. Onto my charms, I have a 1610 P-Torch. Again, 1610, I could go 2010 if I wanted to and still have max res. Those 4 attributes, not the most valuable thing in the world to me. I have a torch. It does what I need it to do. 3 skills. 16 is nothing really to sneeze at, in my opinion. Again, could be improved. 10 all res is nice, but if you're not dueling, you don't really need to buff it any further than that. I guess for when I'm running Chaos, but I don't really find myself struggling at all. When I get lower res from the Doom Knights, which is something that was new to D2R, so I hadn't really thought about until, you know, I started to account for that. I do have an Annie. It is a garbage Annie. I got it super early. 12, 11, 8 are the stats on it. I like that 8 XP. I'm happy with it for that reason. And the 12, 11 is enough for me to get my max res. I could add another 8 attributes potentially. The cost of that would be crazy expensive. So kind of going up to like a middling Annie might be a spot where I can improve. But for right now, it's getting the job done. And then my charms, I've kind of just thrown together my charm inventory. I could invest a lot in charms. Investing a lot in charms hurts because it's incremental upgrades. But that is a place where I could fill out a little bit more. So these are mostly things I've found. I got a 20 lifer, 20 lifer with 23 defense, 20 lifer with 15 poison, a 6 MF, a 5 MF with some light res. Again, not really necessary. I actually think I have a 6 MF in my box that I'll probably go switch that out for because that lightning res doesn't change anything there. Another 20 lifer, another 20 lifer, a 7 MFer. This is the one spot, that 11 fire res small charm. If I take it off, I could bridge that gap. I get dropped down to 66. So I think I need, that's that 9, some quick math, 9 fire res throughout all of my gear. So I could upgrade my Hodo and my Annie and get that 75, and I could take this charm out. And I'd have another spot for a 20 lifer, or I could fill in Grand Charms. But I kind of like having these 6 open spaces right here while I'm magic finding, which is primarily what I use this character for. So it hasn't really bothered me yet, and that damage is kind of negligible because you kill stuff pretty fast even in a player's 8 game. So I could do that just for the sake of, you know, min-maxing and making it look really nice. I could match up all my charms so that those look real nice. Ideas. And then I've got another 5 and another 7 MF. So I kind of have like a hybrid setup here of being able to kill, being able to survive, and stacking some magic find within my charms. Grand Charms, I have a 35 MF Geeds with 96 gold, Again, that 35 is pretty good. I believe 40 is the max there. 96 gold find is low, but I do also have a gold find barb that I used to clear Nightmare Trav. So I'm not really concerned about the gold find, really just looking for magic find. Then I have this 25 life, 12 MF Grand Charm. Pretty solid GC, if I do say so myself. It's just something I found along the way, so I've hung on to it and kept it because I found it useful. And then I have 2 plain P-combs that I found. I actually found both of those P-combs. Pretty lucky with my Grand Charm rolls. On my Switch, I do have a 461 CTA and a Crystal Sword, so not a whole lot of room for improvement on the CTA, and a Paladin Spirit on Switch, and a Sacred Rondash 39 all res. When I fully buff up, I am at 3.4k life, 722 mana, max res, max block, total magic find 288%. I could bring that up a little bit, maybe some more small charms, take out some of the 20 lifers, but that 3.4k life is super nice to look at. One of the last things I bought was I went from a 1BO CTA that I also rolled, had terrible rolls with my CTA and my Hodo super early. It was really a big detriment. Something like, I think I paid like probably 1.6k forum gold for the Ohm when I made my CTA in the first week, and instantly it was worth like 700. It completely tanked it. Same thing with the Hodo. The Hodo was expensive to make, and then when I rolled it, it just... I should have just insta-sold it while it was still worth what it was worth and tried to roll another one, but life moves on. It's gotten me this far, so I've been happy with it. But overall, that's my gear, and then my Mercenary. Get an ETH Colossus Vulge Insight, 230 ED roll, and that was really what I was looking for. I got the 15 Medi on it as well, but I was looking for high ED more so than the level of Meditation Aura, because again, if you played a Hammerdin, you know that pretty much any Insight will do. You're not going to have mana problems with base 722 and an Insight Merc. It's just not going to happen. Again, one of the big pieces, one of the best things I've gotten this since the game came out is this fort that I rolled myself. It's an ETH Bone Weave. I ended up getting the 1.5 life per level, which is awesome, and I also got 29 all res, so it's 1 res off perfect. 2268 for total defense. Again, pretty strong, one of the luckier rolls I've had so far in the game. And an Andes with a rail in it. Nothing too fancy, it's not ETH. I could go to ETH, but my Merc doesn't really die. Occasionally, when you get the double mod on the council, he will fall if I'm not quick enough, or if I let them set their Hydras up before I start killing. That can be a problem. Sometimes he dies, but again, he's got max res, he's got 4k life, 4k defense, with my conviction on. I think he does like 12k damage or something like that. It's crazy. 11.1k, and that's without his might. So yeah, about 12k when he's all buffed up and rolling with me. And so I can clear just about the entire game on players 8. You could use this character to G-Rush. I haven't really done that. I just don't enjoy doing it, so I find I enjoy more when I go in Magic Find in full games, or when I play, and I'm kind of just amassing gear and making trades and trying to build wealth. So that overall is Thomp, my Hammerdin. Thank you guys for watching. If you have any suggestions, leave them down in the comments, and I'll catch you in the next one.